to facilitate this session that center on strategies for supporting struggling learners. This topic has brought all of us to this class. This class is not the class we used to know. This is a 21st century classroom. This classroom is boundless, as different from the classroom we used to teach before. I prepare some just write-up, but that write-up is not what I'm really concerned about. If you look at this class, you discover that we have teachers here of different capacity, capability, personality. That means there's variation. If this is a classroom too, students from various backgrounds, brilliant students, slow learners, students that are forced to come to school, students that are in the classroom but they are not learning. So we have diverse. And the class is filled with different kinds of learners, with a teacher to teach them. And you can see that the teacher job is complex, very complex. And if any teacher is going to succeed in a class, that teacher must teach before his class, pre-class. You will have taught in the secret to teach in the open. If you want your class to be effective and efficient, you must teach in the secret before you teach in the open. So the job of a teacher is complex. A teacher is not a job, it's like a doctor that wants to treat a problem, solve a problem. You apply this drug, this drug is not working, you change. If you are not getting result, you consult your friends. Although it may not be open to the patient, you consult. If they cannot solve it, they also refer to places they think the solution can come. So the same thing applicable to a teacher. A teacher is saddled with responsibility to impart knowledge. You want to impart knowledge to a student that is not ready in your class? You want to impart a student that is forced to come to school? Or a student that just feels, what are they doing there? I will pass out of this place now, there will be no job for me. So what they are doing there is not relevant. And that is why you see many of them going to Yahoo and so on. So you can see that teacher is faced with many problems. And the parents, the other stakeholders, they want that teacher in that terrible situation to perform. They were telling you they want you to have 100%. They were telling you that if you are not delivering well, your job is at stake, and so on and so forth. And the situation is even now bad that almost everything has now been given to the student to dictate. The student dictates to their parents, dictates everything. So, but to make yourself happy as a teacher, you must distinguish yourself. I'm a biology teacher. by the grace of God, I have over 50 textbooks. Over 50, and it's still counting. When I'm coming here today, I told you, I'm only coming here to learn. I'm not coming here to teach. I've emptied myself before I come here, because I know I am going to learn. And I'll be learning. I've emptied myself. So, we have a problem. You have heard about the global learning crisis. Many students are in classrooms. They are not learning. Learning is not taking place. And many students are also outside the classroom. About 13.5 as statistics are shown. And you can also see in our country we have a problem. What is the problem? Our system is only focusing on acquiring of certificates, not skills. And that is why our graduates cannot compete favorably in the global market with their counterparts. So there is efficiency in competence. And when they talk about competitiveness, they're lacking. And the United Nations stretched emphasis on quality and equitable education across the globe. And you can see this is not happening in many countries. So, how can we help? The struggling students, support the struggling students. I would say by using the 21st century strategies or core skills. If you look at our country, we are still using the 20th century of method to teach. It is only in private school that we are seeing much improvement in what they do. But in large, last year you discovered that we are still using the old method. And if you are using the old method and we are getting the result we are getting, we will continue to get that result except we change the strategy. So that is why I will advocate the 21st century learning, which I've been using. And I want to confess to you, I started using it maybe about 5 years ago. And I've taught for over 33 and a half years now. I'm just using it. So we are used to the old system. You come to class, put everything on your head, and you are just teaching, sweating. The teacher, the learners are not learning. They are not learning. And you are not happy. You want to just empty yourself into them. They are not ready. You'll be teaching, they will be talking to themselves. Real doubt. Don't share it. They will be saying a lot of things in the classroom. So, what are these 21st century learning skills? You know them already. We have critical thinking and problem solving. Number 2, we have communication and collaboration. Number 1, critical thinking and problem solving. Number 2, communication and collaboration. Number 3, creativity and imagination. Creativity and imagination. Number 4, leadership. Number 5, citizenship. And number 6, digital literacy. number C there is problem solving. Number 2, that communication and collaboration is broken into bits for you to teach it, for it to be teachable. Then we have number 1 under communication and collaboration, listening. 2, presenting. 3, teamwork. Now, if you look at this, you discover that they are teachable. They are teachable. Now, under creativity and imagination, creativity. That one is also teachable. Then, leadership. So we'll be looking at this. We'll be looking at this practically. The one we want to do now. Let's quickly look at the topic itself. Strategy for supporting struggling. That is what I have on my, what is sent to me, right? Struggling learners. Now let's pick the key words there. Number 1, strategy. Number 2, support. Number 3, struggling. Now, what is strategy? Now, this class will be interactive because I'm going to come with a practical topic on which you are going to see the effectiveness of the strategy we can use to help the struggling students. Now, let's look at it from this perspective. What is a strategy? What is a strategy? Yes.
Method that will improve and don't employ. Method.
Say method. Yes. Any other person? Yes.
Ways to go about something.
Ways to go about the thing. Yes.
Lay out plans.
Lay out plan. That is plan to achieve a goal. That is a strategy. That is the meaning of strategy. Plan to achieve a goal. Now you can see that is just this the meaning. We can now amplify it, put in some embellishments to make it big. But that is what strategy is communicating. And in doing it, you have to do it intelligently. So, intelligent allocation of resources. Your resources now is time, all that you have, you want to use to achieve that goal. They are all your resources. Even yourself is a resource. What you use is a resource. Now, you now have activities. So, you can't plan without activities. Now, what are these activities going to achieve? To achieve a goal. Now, support. Support, what is support? Yes, I've told you it's going to be interactive. Support, what is support?
Assist.
To assist, to encourage. Don't forget we are encouraging someone that is struggling. Now, we also have the third word there, which is what? Struggling. What do you mean by struggling? Struggling. When we say a learner is struggling, that word struggling is describing learners. This learner is struggling. When a learner cannot finish a task at the time allocated, when the learners need assistance to achieve a goal, is struggling. have many of them. And that is why in our teaching, we will have planned them. Teaching is all about planning. It's all about planning. You know, many of us, we just go to the class to teach. Just go to the class to teach. I have to be sincere with you. I can't go to a class without preparing for that class. Anybody that has worked with me will know. All the students I have taught, I always have a note for them. I won't use last year's notes. I won't use it. My contemporary say, you boy, because you see, I know that last year I failed. I knew, assessed myself. I discover I have not done some things well. I have discovered I have done it wrongly. I have discovered I did it well, but the students are not following. So how am I going to do it better this time around? So teaching is all about planning. It's all about planning. Now, let us take a practical look at it. I want to teach self. I want to teach self. Now, in my heart, I will ask myself, how am I going to teach this topic? I know in my class, I can't actually figure out the stages, the type of students I have. I don't know, I'm not God. But in my thinking, I will have taken all of them into consideration in my plan. Now, how am I going to teach it? Okay. Planning will start. I'm going to break the topic. What is cell? Type of cell. Structure of cell. The structure of animal cell. Structure of animal cell. I also ask them to make a labeled drawing of a cell. If that is what I want to achieve, planning has started. How am I going to achieve this topic I've broken into bits? Whole system. I'll just recommend a textbook. Ask me a textbook. I'll look at it. I'll not come to the class to teach. What is cell? I'll give them many definitions. What is a cell? A cell is a structural and functional unit of protoplasm bonded by membrane containing nucleus and cytoplasmic material. Definition number 1. That is the structural definition of a cell. You can define a cell as a unit of life. I'll now begin to teach. Those students. Sincerely, if you have 100 students in your class, learning will only be taking place in 10 out of 100. But if you want to carry as many students along, how am I going to catch these students? 21st century students. I know they love all this machine. So in my planning, I will say I will break the topic cell into what I want them to research on. I will ask them to look for video-based activities on cell. My answer, I say, take my answer to SS1C. Tell them to watch this. Immediately I send my answer to class. They will also bring their own answer out. He asked them not to bring answer to school, they are bringing it to school. Although I am not against students using assets. I'm not. Now, you now begin to look at it. We must encourage them to use what is in their dispensation for their good.
many of them what they normally watch is pornography film. And you see all of them we gather to be looking at it. Why can't they gather together to learn? We must change their mindset. So I will ask them to go and watch that video-based activity, and I will ask each one of them to give me reports. Tell me what you have seen. Just write it down in your own language. And these are the things I use as their continuous assessment. Students don't fail my continuous assessment. In fact, I have pegged the mark the student will get in my continuous assessment. I will pass them very well. 2 activities in my class. You can't have less than 30. And you see all of them. Anything I ask them to do, they will do. Almost one will be less than 30. And I will now give 5 marks for creativity. You are creative in what you have done and hard mark. So you have scored 35 all over 40. So all of them, they normally ask them to do something, they will do it. And I will tell them, I want you to do it. You can do it. Do it yourself. That is what I do it, and let me see how I can help you to do it better. Do it. Do it. So, teaching a cell, start with planning. I've broken the topic into bits. I have asked them to go and watch video-based activities on it. They have seen what cell is. It's like when we are using interactive board, like you type, give me the instruction of the cell. The board just brings the cell out. Cell come out. That's exactly what the machine in their hands will do. It will bring cells out, filled, different types of cells. So you can now see that they are not in that classroom, they are in a boundless classroom. What is cell? There will be contribution for so many other people, not the recommended textbook alone. They can write as many definitions, and as you are reading them, you get the clearer picture of what the meaning of cell is. You read this person, you read this person, you read this person. Now, you will now discover that all of them will be able to do it. We are going to do it because this class is going to be practical. Now, I have asked them to watch, I have asked them to write something down. Now, I will now divide them into groups. Now, I have identified, because strugglers are my friends. They are my friends. You must make them your friends. If they don't come to class, you know. If they don't come to school, you know. Many of us initially, they will be coming to school because of you. In fact, what happened in our own case is that I now change my tactics. Because even those that are not strugglers, they want to claim that they are strugglers so that they can get special treatment from me. So you must be their friend. So you bring them into groups and you will now work on this. Work on those things you have asked them to do. That is where they will have to communicate. You have to collaborate when they are working on that beat. Don't forget, they will present. So one of them will be writing, or all of them writing, some is writing for the group. We are also teaching the leadership skill as well as citizenship. They are member of that group, and each one of them will be playing a role to make that group
achieve his goal as a member of a community, behaving well, participating in the activities of that community to make that community to grow. Those skills, we will be teaching it as we are teaching every day. And in the whole process, you now discover every one of them is a collective job. They want to do it well. They want to do it well. They will be doing it together. And at the end of the day, I will come. I will say, before you present, you will face yourself to 2 minutes. What you have grabbed, just tell your friend. And your friend will also tell you what he or she has also grabbed. In 2 minutes, all of them. Say, and I've told them, say, good morning. How are you? My name is Raycon. We get together for the past few minutes looking at this. What I've been able to grab from our work is this. And I've discovered that I said is this. Now discovered that we have two types of self, chaotic and chaotic self. Now discovered that he said this. He tell you, the other person also tell you. What are you teaching? You are teaching how to speak, how they can effectively communicate what they know. You are also teaching presentation. You are also teaching the skill to work within a collective, a group. These skills will just begin to spring up in them. Now, after that, I will now say, and they know, I can call anybody from the group. Now look at the time, now discover we only have 5 minutes. And we have maybe 7 groups. You know, we have a large class. Now I'll say, it's you. You have been praying that I should not call you. God does not answer your prayer. You are the one that will present for the group. Oh yeah, come and present. So all of them, they are always working to make sure that they can call you. Now you now discover everybody did not want to work. So, my colleagues, we have been called to the best profession ever. God is a teacher. I am happy to be a teacher. If I come again, I will be a better teacher. Because I know I've failed in many places. I will not come and fail again. So, as a teacher, the country, the change in the country begins from us. It begins from us. No country can change without quality education. No country. No country. Education drives everything. It drives everything. If our leaders are proactive, instead of coming up with Ndoji scheme in the early 70s, when we had money, they invested that money in education. Nigeria will not be where we are. And you have also discovered that emergency education has been declared emergency sector by mouth. It has not been fully implemented. But we are bringing things to take care of. In fact, I pity them as they are trying to solve this problem. Multiple problems are coming up. So, ladies and gentlemen, as a teacher, we have so many things to do. What are the characteristics of struggling learners. What have we observed? Let me quickly run out because of time. They lack helpful skills. They lack helpful skills. Helpful skill. What are these helpful skills? Listening, presenting. You know, many of them when you are teaching them, they will not listen to you. And somebody that refuses to listen, he cannot learn. More in fact, when you ask them to listen, it is something that will say, they listen. You see it in there. They don't even need to tell you. And that's why you ask questions from them, they can't answer. No, they lack self-motivation. We are looking at characteristics. Require extra time to complete certain tasks, like tests, like homework. Becomes easily frustrated. Have difficulty in following direction. May have a hard time remembering information. Memorizing is very difficult for them. Having difficulty in planning. I will drop something for you. May forget to do homework given. What are the behavioral strategies for supporting struggling learners? Number one, have a plan for them and stick to it. Number two, make them your special friend. Number three, show love to them. Love. If you don't have love, you can't teach them, because they will annoy you. Even what you carry to class to teach you, forget. They will, in fact, they will push you to the wall to the extent that, in fact, if you are not very careful, the integrity you have built for many years, they will just put fire on it, and everything will just burn off. Provide mutual support. Engage them more. I always give my students assignment that they know they can never finish. I will give them I know they can't finish it. I know they can't finish it. Arrange the learners' environment to address student needs. Speak encouraging words to them. Teacher, Egbo, if you enter a class, you say, stand up. In fact, one student in that class, you are making, look, if I pounce on you, you will lose your head. All those things are not necessary in 21st century class. That is the characteristics. A student that you will take gun to the class to do what? Is it to kill the teacher? That is the characteristics. So you should know the characteristics of 21st century students. So you must develop a large heart to accommodate them. Because if you don't love them, you can't do anything for them. You must speak encouraging words to them. Give a break when you notice they are not ready yet. You are teaching. No, I can look. Do you know? I've told them that I will be very practical. There are many times I will just come to class, and now I discover that they are not ready. I won't teach them. I won't teach them. I won't teach them. I will give them work to do. They are the one that will do the work. Anytime I discover they are not ready, because if you teach, you are just wasting your time. You are wasting your energy. Learning is not taking place. When I know they are not ready for this, they are not ready for learning. So let us play. We will use that. We will use play method to learn. I will use play method to learn. Maybe all of them will be doing something. Oh yeah, I can bring a standard question out, and I will ask them. You could be drawing. Make a label drawing 8 to 10 centimeter long of specimen this. Oh yeah, let's begin to do it. Oh yeah. What are the skills required when you have to make a label drawing? I want them to tell me title,
quality drawing. What do we have there? Size 8 to 10. These are one man. And we teach them. Clarity of lines, neat labeling. You know, we teach them. And you say, look, if you are giving this type of question, as you are doing it, you'll be marking it yourself. The more drawing you have in your question, the better for you to pass the subject. Look, I have the habit of talking my student to pass. You have to be doing it. You have to be doing it. My students now know that the two subjects that are the easiest subject to pass is mathematics and they are big questions. In English language examination, you know all the questions that will come out. I said, for God's sake, what is your problem? One share any. One share one atile. And they are using those terms. And you will fail English. So you can have to come to share one atile. You know that they will ask you to write. You know summary will come out. You know convention will come. And what is your problem? Mathematics. It has a pattern. Statistics will come out.
Yes, probability.
Graph will come out. Probability will come out. Bearing will come out.
Yes.
So what is your problem? Sit down with it now and learn it. If you know you cannot get A1 in mathematics, just get C. You pass. Just get C. Get C. Just pass. Now all of them will now be struggling to cross the border. So you have to tell them your student must pass on your wings. You know, God used to carry us on his wings. You carry your student on your wings by telling them what can make them to pass. When my students are going for exam, I normally talk to them to pass. How that examination, I will pieces it as if they just enter the exam hall and you just pass. So they will be able to go to that exam with what? Confidence. And I've told them, this is how to answer objective question. You don't talk to anybody when you enter the exam hall. 60 questions. Read the first question. You can't answer, leave it. Go to the second question. Objective is very easy when you have read very well and you understand those concepts. As you are reading the question, you know the answer. Just pick it. Number 2B. Go to question 3. What is so? Oh, this is the answer. Go to number question 4 and you can't answer the limit. Question 6, you can't answer the limit. Question 7, you can't answer the limit. 8, you can answer it. The first round, you can answer 11 questions out of 60. You have scored 11 over 60. Go to the second round. That giant that follow students to the examination hall will have been defeated 11%. The second round, you now discover question 3. Now, you first of all do it like that. First round, second round, third round. By the third round, you'll have asked maybe 36 questions from 60. You have scored 36. All over 60, you have passed already. And I have told them, the other one, you have to answer them. You know what? If they brought angel from heaven, Angel Gabriel, to come and invigilate in the exam in Nigeria, students will talk. The question 13. I need question 13. If you ask them not to talk, they will talk. A, B, C, they have their sign. Now, and I've told them, when you have answered your own question, maybe you now left 14 questions, you have answered 14 questions. You now get clue for 14 questions. That means you have 2 answers. You go to those questions again. Not that Oluwole that has not read anything, just enter hall, mark everything, you are asking questions from him. But he failed you. Because we just enter, hey, Papa, okay. You give him paper. 45 minutes, put your jeton. Pule, put your jeton. And you will now be asking questions. Pule, number 13. So if you have two clues to a question, you can go back to the question. By reading that question, it may be that two clues that will give you the answer to the question. So what are we teaching them? We are teaching them that you have to work hard in every situation you are. Okay? And these skills is what we can build in them. And let me just end it here. As educators, we should ensure that all children and young people develop the knowledge, skills, and values they need for life and work in a global economy. Thank you for listening. I hope to be again with you. Thank you very much.
Just put it together for time. Is that your way of saying it? Almost better to just continue, right?